Pennsylvania. He is professional wrestling's only Olympic gold medalist. He is the leader of the main event mafia and the #1 contender for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. This is Kurt Angle. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, standing in the corner to my right. He weighed in this morning at 260 pounds and comes to us from Venice Beach, California. Also representing the main event mafia, he is the current reigning and defending TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World. He is the Icon, Sting.
You look back at the careers of both champion and challenger. The resumes of the Icon Sting and Kurt Angle have so many high-pressure, high-profile matches. But when you consider what's at stake, not only the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, but the future of this entire organization and the faction known as the Main Event Mafia, and you realize just how important this match, this showdown is between Sting and Angle.
You know, another thing is just seeing that star power that was just out there before this match got started, seeing Mick Foley and Jeff Jarrett, and in the capacity that they're going to be in, Kurt and Sting, I mean, this is a big-time feel. I mean, you can feel the importance of what this belt's all about here tonight, not just being the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, but having all the stroke in the Main Event Mafia and having all the say.
Jarrett as special referee, Foley as ringside enforcer. They're here for law and order. They're here to ensure that the best man, be it Sting or be it Kurt Angle, leaves Destination X with that World Heavyweight Championship belt. Opening offense by Angle is a series of punches and then kicks in the corner. Sting, drill, shot off into the turnbuckles, but he's able to get his boot up and does as Angle comes right at him and stops the offense, and now it's time for Sting to turn it around.
You know, Kurt Angle is going to have to do something really incredible here tonight. He's got to just pretend that's a normal referee and pretend that Mick Foley's not out there. Concentrate on one thing and one thing only, and that's Sting. And I know that's hard to do, especially if you're Kurt Angle and the history that you've had with Jeff Jarrett and the history recently that you've had with Mick Foley. But that's what you've got to do, and right now Sting, I think, realizes that Kurt's kind of looking all around a different direction, and Sting's using it to his advantage.
A tentative Angle as he came back into the ring through the ropes. Almost a feeling out process here, and it's Angle attacking a different offense from the Olympic gold medalist. The punches and kicks. And you can see that Sting is not quite prepared for this kind of an offense from Angle. That kind of a move he should be. The European uppercut, followed by being shot off into the ropes, and Sting is able to elevate Angle, and that's not a good landing.
Not somebody that's had the back problems and the neck problems that Kurt has. I mean, my gosh, he was up there in Ultimate X territory and landed, and it jars you when you land on your feet. Sting obviously going to just continue on, but Kurt Angle, if he comes through from shots like that, I mean, that just shows you what the guy's made of. But wow, Sting sent him flying in the air.
As Sting takes Angle from one side of the arena to the other, repeatedly driving him midsection first into the steel guardrail and flashing back to that empty arena match of several weeks ago.
So brutal, so vicious. You felt the hatred. You felt the hatred that night like you've never felt it between two people. And even when you thought it was resolved, Kurt knew that it couldn't be, that it had to come to this right here, right now. And you know what? You got to think about all of that and what happened. What Kurt's ultimate goal was to get this match with Sting one-on-one so that he could get that belt. Because when you're the leader of the Main Event Mafia, it means a lot more if you've got that belt by your side.
Angle favoring his back after being shot into the wall by Sting. That's one of those blows that you're going to have to think about down the line, because there's always the potential for Sting to apply a submission hold like the Scorpion, which would work on the back of the challenger, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, great point. I mean, that's something that if he gets it in and gets it cinched in, I don't care who you are. Kurt, though, we've seen him defy all odds so many times. I mean, really, I think he's the greatest in the world. You look back in history of all the people we've seen in that ring, I don't care who you are. He's in the discussion. He's in your top 5. And in my mind, when you look at his Olympic background, this guy, pound for pound, is the best we've ever seen. But then you got that experience that Sting brings to the table, and when you are the world champion, you always give a little extra to keep that belt. So Kurt's going to have his work cut out for him, obviously.
Angle fights through the pain, connects with a suplex, then unleashes the series of kicks. The striking of Kurt Angle, followed by a suplex, and the takeover leads to a pin. Referee Jarrett down for the count, but 2 only. And you see the eye contact made between Angle and Jarrett at that point, and there was no question that the cadence of the count of special referee Jeff Jarrett was right on the money.
Yeah, you can't argue with it. You know Kurt probably doesn't feel that way, and that's just because of that past and that hatred that he has for Double J. But I'll tell you something I've noticed. When they're in the ring, it seems like Kurt Angle has the edge. When we've seen him outside of the ring and it became more of a brawl, it seemed like Sting had the edge, using that size and strength in those quarters. But Kurt right now, inside here, just seems to have a little bit of an edge, and he's got a hold, and wow, talk about releasing somebody. He sent Sting flying.
Suplex, pin, 2 count only. You saw Sting try to use the power. He tried to bum rush Angle that time. But what Kurt did was grab on with all of his life, and then the suplex leads to the near fall, and now Angle with the backbreaker right into a pin. Here's 2, and no, just 2.
You know, again, you got to give Jarrett credit. Those counts are not slow by any scope of the imagination. They're right on. So you can't sit there and hold that against him if you're Kurt. You just got to do what you're doing. But the bottom line is Kurt's dominating right now. He's doing what he